Hi, I'm Jay Magoni with Balboa Tech Foundry, and I'd like to thank the audience for joining us on another episode of Tech Talk. We're here today with Frank Birondwa of Nextel Systems Ltd. here in Kampala, Uganda, and we're coming to you from the beautiful Golden Hill restaurant overlooking the Kampala cityscape. Without further ado, let's begin our show. Frank, welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Oh, thank you, Jay, and it's a pleasure to meet you and to discuss with you. My name is Frank Birondwa, and a few years ago I founded a company called Nextel Systems Ltd. That was after university. I studied information technology from Makerere University, and I had the idea after reading up on the tech companies that were revolutionizing our industry, like Microsoft, Apple, Oracle. I read up on these while at the university, and I thought it was pretty good a sector to go in. So that's how I conceived the idea to start a tech company.
You actually mentioned to me while you were still a student, you developed some software that got you into the business. What was that? Could you tell me about that?
Oh yes. So as a way to enter the industry, I had to look for the entry point. And the easiest way became to program a system, and then put it on the market and see. So,
and what was that?
I developed a desktop application called BizHub Integrated System, which was an inventory management system.
Inventory management.
Inventory.
Oh, very
yes.
interesting.
Yeah, stock management, inventory, sales. So it had a couple of modules that enabled sales, inventory management, and of course user management. And this is what rolled us into the IT industry.
Yeah. So when you started, who was in your primary market, and who are your primary markets now? Clients.
When we started, we rolled out the product to small businesses. They were really interested in automating their shop floor activities. And they were really small businesses, traders, startups. And very soon we realized another sector, which was web. Not many of the small businesses were online. So as a company, we realized this was a new addition to our already offering software market. So we added that up, and now we were selling the software and building the web applications and websites. That's small businesses. So we really went for the very micro businesses that could onboard, and they were not hard to get because there are so many in Kampala, so many small businesses. So those were our initial market, and we signed up so many of those at the start.
And you've been in business how many years now?
The company first, it has two phases. The pre-incorporation phase, which was from 2010. So the total number of years is like 15 years.
Oh, wow, okay.
No, I think 13 years. From 2010
till now, yeah.
To date. But the first years, I call them pre-incorporation years. We hadn't incorporated the company. We were just testing the ideas, see what we're developing, how is it being conceived in the market.
So Nextel Systems has been around for about a decade? Since you've incorporated?
We officially incorporated in 2016, so okay. 7 years.
7 years, okay.
Yeah.
And
by that time, we had really captured a huge market base, customers that really energized our business to think big and stay in the sector.
So you mentioned to me that you started off with these these micro businesses.
Yes.
And then you had mentioned to me that you realized there was some issue with these small companies being your clients.
Yes.
What was that?
So, of course, technology business is supposed to be continuous. You don't deploy technology 1 year and then the next you go off. So if you are going to benefit, but the challenge we faced with very small businesses is 1 year they are in existence, the next year they are out of existence, so they are no longer. All their priorities have changed and they are no longer deploying technology. So they didn't have that continuous staying power.
Staying power, yeah. Okay.
So this made us to change our target market, and now the medium businesses, which are already well established, were already signing up big time on the web. So we realized these were now our new market segment. Yeah, these were well established businesses already on the top 100 URA top paying.
What's the URA? What is URA
That's
for?
the Uganda Revenue Authority, which ranks companies in their sizes. So we realized we're having those on board.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's a good thing. And as you deployed these different technologies with these companies, could you tell us a little about what technologies you employed, what tools and systems were integral to building your business? And then you mentioned to me it kind of was in 3 phases.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. So now the company was having a software development, and this has different tools we're using. We're using what we call IDEs, integrated development environments. These are the software for building software. Like in NetBeans, there's NetBeans IDE, and then there is MySQL Workbench for database programming. The NetBeans ones is for desktop applications, web applications. So we used IDEs for the software part, and then for the web part, we used servers to host. We used Cloud Linux as an operating system for the cloud. We used cPanel, which is a web host management system. So these were the key tools which we couldn't do away with.
And you had mentioned when you first started, it was kind of low tech. You were emailing customers and you were doing shop to shop kind of marketing.
Yeah.
And then that's when, after that is when you kind of got into the into more of the tech stuff. And you were mentioning Google Analytics, and what other tools did you use in that second phase?
For the web and really for marketing, our first approach was to use email lists of, from the university friends to businesses downtown. So I put a team together to go and visit business to business, collect some information, and then put it in a system and then communicate. So that was our initial approach. Then in the next phase we realized we need to know what people are looking for. This is when we now resorted to Google's infrastructure, search, integrating analytics into the web, our own website and the websites of others. So we started to see all the analytical data, and this helped us to understand what people want.
So the same tools that you're using to market Nextel, then you use those.
Exactly. We realized our clients need exactly the same build like ourselves. We're an internet company and they are procuring an internet service. So we said we have to incorporate all these for our clients as well. So every single client whom we onboarded, we implemented the same. And some of them have been very successful with reaching their markets.
And you had mentioned to me also that I guess in the later phase,
Yeah.
you have created a video team. What's that all about?
Oh yeah. So it is also part of our discovery with the small businesses and the medium businesses, and our own study of our own company operations. We realized we need to reach more out with video content and sometimes animated content. So as part of our company, I instituted a small team of 4 who are very skilled with the video editing, animation, using the Adobe Creative Suite, the 3D animation tools, Maya, there are a number of them.
Yeah.
So now they produce video, which we then use, but also our clients like the same. So we offer the same service now.
That's awesome, and that's working out well for you.
Yeah, it's working very well, and clients are taking up more and more on the marketing using video.
So, have there been any specific challenges or limitations you've encountered regarding internet communications or your web applications?
Yes, as an IT company in Uganda, there are some which are sector level. Some challenges are at the sector level, some are at the company level. So at the sector level, you find that the IT infrastructure, by this I mean the layout of the reach of the fiber connection, which offices far removed from the central can deploy and run online systems. That infrastructure is limited. The most connectivity that we have are people using wireless, the mobile phone connection. So the infrastructure that's needed for deep penetration of IT services is fiber connectivity, and even electricity, because you can't switch on a computer without electricity. So you find that you cannot reach far. The population of Uganda is about 49 million in 2013. But you can't reach all of them because of that infrastructure issue.
So there's a lot of rural areas that have yet to catch up with
yes.
the internet revolution,
Yes.
whereas in the bigger cities like Kampala
Exactly.
and Harare or some of these others,
Yeah. You only get the big towns, concentration of clients, but we would want to reach further, and even the smaller towns, and have a bigger market. That's how you create the bigger market for the ICT.
So there's a real opportunity, in your opinion, to create a bigger market for yourself.
And now for the internally, we haven't expanded as fast as we could because of we have let ourselves to grow organically with clients, but we could have grown much faster because we realized changes in the market. We don't make the changes as fast because of we don't have access to technology financing, enough of it. Financiers here don't buy ideas and finance them, just like it is in the European tech spaces. You have to have reached a certain level. So you find that you are handicapped in the speed at which you can grow because of financing.
Now you mentioned you've addressed some of these issues in writing articles, and you mentioned some other forums that exist that are trying to improve connectivity. What are those? Some of those?
The Ugandan sector has the IT association, which is like a forum of ICT practitioners and businesses, where they can talk about the things. And personally, I write about these topics and put it online. And sometimes it generates interest, and you see policy announcements that are in the right direction. So this is how we're trying to now like the
You said
national
ICT. I'm sorry, I kind of
the
was in
ICT, there's a forum,
Information.
Communication Technologies Association of Uganda, ICT, ICT Association of Uganda.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So that's the forum, and then we have the Ministry of ICT. Still, it's the Ministry of Information Communication Technologies. So these are bodies which are responsible for our sector, and we engage them in those in those forums and in posting opinions about.
So Frank,
Yeah.
you know, kind of dovetailing from that
Yeah.
last question,
Yeah.
you know, based on your experience, what immediate technological needs do you believe would provide the most significant boost to business operations here in Uganda?
So with regard to our sector, we need, like, if I take our company as an example, we need to have in-house data center, because the need for storage from our clients is huge. We get requests to create 100 terabyte capacity for a business that's doing maybe billboards, and wants all this data accessible. So this cannot be done in the public cloud just simply. It's a bit too costly. So we need to create that, and this is part of our strategic business. And also, so those servers and the software licensing models that are affordable, and maybe our own copyright laws to support the ideas, because once we put these ideas online, it's easy to. So we need a very strong copyright system.
So you want to, so instead of maybe these cloud access through foreign cloud servers and these kind of things, that you want to create your own in-house Ugandan local hubs that are more affordable for your clients here?
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. The storage capacities are huge that are required in the market, and so we would need the server infrastructure, the stronger internet, the software licensing to support that, so that we serve those markets. And maybe another major technological requirement for our sector to prosper, you find that the e-commerce, the Ugandan ICT sector has a lot of young people developing applications, but they cannot participate in the global e-commerce market because of the payment systems.
I see. Okay. So before we go into that, because I'm very interested in that topic, can we talk for a second about the regulatory and compliance issues that you face here in Uganda that either are helping you or not helping you, or that need to be addressed?
Yeah, the ICT regulatory sector has been preventative for the most part for adoption, mass adoption of technologies. You find is taxation of transactions, like for example the mobile money system. There is a taxation on that before it had reached maturity, because so anyway, there are a number of, like the Data Protection Act 2019 or 2011, something like that. So we have a number of acts. There is Computer Misuse Act, there is Electronic Transactions Act. There are about 5 acts that are regulating our sector. But they are not proactive, looking at the needs of the people practicing. They are looking at the political needs more, rather than the practitioners. What do they need, like to address a need? So the need here is, we want young people who are practicing to access markets. And this can be done via e-commerce if the regulation was, especially in transactions, was addressing the capacity to sell applications to global markets and participate in the global e-commerce.
What e-commerce methods do you have available here? I know when I was in Kenya recently, and their use of M-Pesa is big.
Yeah.
What do you use here in Uganda?
Here we have mobile money. We have the big telecoms, the Airtel, they have Airtel money, the MTN, they have MTN mobile money or MTN Momo. And as IT companies, we're able to tap onto those platforms. They have API frameworks which enable developers to build payment applications. The challenge is, for example, we built a plugin to enable e-commerce payments on the website using mobile money. When we put that up, very soon we were approached by Ghanaian businesses wanting to deploy mobile money. However, these APIs do not do cross-border transactions.
Oh, that's interesting.
You can't do a mobile money cross-border transaction from Uganda and get a client paying you, even though the technology exists. So it's just cutting at national
restricts
border.
your potential client base,
yes,
is that right?
And technology is a global product. So you have to think of it as a global product. So the companies like MTN, Airtel.
So if I wanted to hire Frank Birondwa, your Nextel Systems,
yes,
and I'm not here in Uganda,
yes,
and I want to pay for something, for a service, I
yes,
can't do it because I'm restricted because of these cross-border
yes,
regulations. Is that correct?
You will be required to complete the transaction manually. Either come with your card and swipe it and complete, or send money via the banking system, but you can't do straight up online payment from wherever you are in the world and it's accepted. So that's a limitation.
So, well, and of course, when we're talking about money and transactions, that kind of leads us into the whole cybersecurity and data protection for your clients. Have you run into any issues there, or how do you currently handle cybersecurity and protecting your clients' data? And you have, about how many clients do you have in your business now?
We have onboarded around 2,000 clients since inception. And
that's a lot of data.
we have come into challenges where hackers attempt to take down either our own or our client's service. I remember we had a news company which published very, very popular information, and it was subscribed to. So some hackers attempted to take it down.
They didn't like what they were publishing, or
I don't know, maybe competition.
So we're talking about cybersecurity,
yes,
and these hackers are getting into some of these sites. And so, what are some of the techniques you're using now to prevent these?
Like I mentioned, there is already existing protocols for security, the encryption protocols, which come embedded in like Cloud Linux and Control Panel. So those are our first lines of defense. And of course the server access to servers. This is regular. Now internally, with the workers and everything, we have a protocol where you only access what you're doing. We sign up developers according to what they are doing, and after that you revoke the...
So limiting access.
Limiting access. Yeah. And of course monitors to notify in case of unauthorized, even authorized access. There's always those security logs and notifications that, oh, so and so has accessed this resource. So there is a person who is looking at that and taking proactive action.
So in line with that, do you run any internal training or continuing education that kind of focuses on the cybersecurity? Any other skills, or do you offer this to your clients, or are you going to?
With regard to training, yeah, our company usually every year has a program of interns, guys who have just finished university.
Okay.
We onboard like 10 and give them a 3-month run every year. And out of those, we hire maybe 2 to be part of our team. So that's how we have been training. And usually it's about the tools, because someone's already programmed, is already educated. So you just have to get them to the tool training. And maybe the business rules and trainings to understand the business implications.
What about online training that your clients can have their employees take? Do any of them do things like that?
I haven't reviewed what our clients do in terms of training for their, but I have seen most of them recruit through their online channels,
right,
ask for recruitment, but for their specific businesses.
So looking ahead, the next 3 to 5 years in your business, what do you think the ideal technological setup would be for your business, and what are kind of your goals going forward?
Going forward, and in the next, we have a strategic business plan which we are following. Now, the next phase of our business is we are going to participate in the building of the African cloud, if I may call it. This is establishing...
Sounds like a good name.
Establishing data centers in-house, where because you realize that some information that we collect is actually sensitive. So if you continue using cloud, some of those projects may not be well implemented, or they may not. So participating in the building of the cloud infrastructure by having the networking, the fiber optic, and the data centers to host. And then from that we can rebuild our online infrastructure to cater for that. Like I mentioned, we want to reach a wider market base. So right now we are targeting the East African market because there is so much discussion going on around the East African community. So as a company, we are looking at the market of East Africa. That's Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Burundi, South Sudan, and now they've onboarded Somalia. So as an IT company, which can deliver services to any of these remotely, you don't have to be there, but you have to have the capacity to onboard. So our vision now is to have 1 million small businesses onboarded.
That's quite a goal.
It's very achievable because we saw how fast small businesses in Uganda only onboarded when we started. It was so it's a matter of right pricing, right packaging, and going in with the service or a product.
So looking ahead the next 3 to 5 years, you're looking to expand throughout East Africa, and the East African Union is actually expanding with the addition of other countries.
Yes.
And you're looking to move to 1 million customers, is that right?
Yes. We want to onboard 1 million small businesses onto the productivity software that we make, onto the online cloud, so that they can have their ideas propped up. So using our own cloud, and this will be targeting the East African market.
Which will be your East African cloud.
Absolutely.
That sounds like an amazing goal, and I hope we can be a part of helping you with that here at Tech Foundry.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, and Frank, I want to thank you very much. I want to thank our viewers for watching this segment of Tech Foundry, Tech Talk, and Frank, thanks again. Really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.